We usually take the whole month of December to prepare for Christmas as a family. So we slow down a little bit, do less schoolwork, and spend some of this time doing the projects that we need to do to get ready for Christmas, decorating, baking, making Christmas cards. I invite you to join us this week. We've had some pretty dreary and surprisingly cold days here, so we've been spending some more time indoors getting ready for Christmas. Our co-op doesn't meet in the month of December just to give families a chance to prepare for the season, but we're still involved in some things. Some high school kids at our co-op had a Christmas party. My son's literature class had a movie night to go over one of the books they were reading. We went out and saw some lights, some Christmas lights with some friends. We had a homeschool Christmas skate. I try to limit what we do so we're not too busy, but there are still some fun things that we're doing this time of year. Some of the shots in this video are just kind of dark. We've had some really dreary days, and I see it as my responsibility as a mom to try to keep everyone's spirits up as much as possible.
Ontario, Canada, same as city and a country. Home is a noun. A common noun is something that is a person, place, or thing, but it's not specific. It doesn't have a name. And a proper noun would be capitalized. Yeah. Once upon a time, a little girl named Laura lived in the big woods of Wisconsin in a little house made of logs. Do you see her? Do you see her there in the window? Look, there she is. Laura lived in the little house with her pa, her mom, her big sister Mary, and her little sister Carrie, and their good old bulldog, Jack.
If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Sherry. I'm a Christian mom to 10 kids. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, Nelson. We've been married for 24 years. I love encouraging other moms in homeschooling. I write over on the blog ourlifehomeschooling.com, and I show up here on YouTube every week inviting you into our home. This is our 15th year of homeschooling, and I just want to share with other moms the great lifestyle that we've found in homeschooling, hopefully as a way to encourage others. As soon as daylight savings changes over, our days become shorter. So this time from about now until March or April, when the time changes back, we have a lot more days inside where it's dark, and I consider, especially January through March, the time when we get the most bookwork done in our homeschool. So January through March is when we get a ton of bookwork done, probably twice as much. But in December, we take it easy, we do the basics, reading, writing, and math, and we spend the rest of the time doing some of the Christmas prep we have. Decorating, making Christmas cards, making our Christmas calendars, wrapping the gifts, all these things. This is some Christmas copy work you can find over on the blog. My kids use this all during the month of December.
The note said, I want to be a toad.
If you see a question mark, then it means like you asked the question. Alone? Alone? Said Toad.
William, our first grader, is reading Frog and Toad to me. Jenna's working on French. Afton is doing some copy work. James is doing his history on the computer. This is through Veritas Press. They're doing Renaissance and Reformation this year. And he has Benjamin on his lap, which is so sweet. So I guess some of my kids are doing more than just reading, writing, and math. But the idea is we just do some schoolwork. Some of them do, maybe they get done and they do a little more on their checklist. Some of them, they finish reading, writing, and math, and that's just been a lot, and so they're done. But we just take it easy and do lighter days. My little guys this day were kind of needy and following me everywhere, so I try to find any kind of job I can for them to do. And here, as I was cutting the sweet potatoes, I was letting them put it in. They think this is so fun and think they're a part of the work. There's one thing that's really important to me that moms know, and that is that when I share these videos, this is really kind of a highlight reel for us. You're seeing the best or the fun parts of what happened in our homeschool. I don't show everything, but I assure you that we have some of the same problems you have. I have kids that get sick, kids that make messes, kids that fight. We have some of the same struggles here. But even with some of these struggles, I just believe homeschooling is such a great lifestyle for our family. And that's what I want to share with you and how I want to inspire and encourage you. Thank you for such a great day, nice quiet day at home. Thank you for coming. I bless you at your church. And thank you for this food. When you feel overwhelmed as a mom, and I have been there, I just know that place so well in the 15 years that we've been doing this, and I think that's why I'm so passionate about encouraging others. When you feel overwhelmed, I think it's because we fail to realize what a noble position, a noble calling that we have as moms. And I can't even call it a profession. I think it's higher and greater than any profession. We are raising people. And that's a messy job. It's complicated sometimes. There's no easy answers for some of the difficulties we have. But its influence is so far-reaching into the next generation of people. The work you're doing with your kids today is changing the next generation. Today we are cleaning up the house and getting ready to go out roller skating with some friends. There's a homeschool skate nearby today, and so we're just getting everything together and getting our chores done. We didn't do any school this morning. We just got the house cleaned up and went out to the skating rink. Let's put your shoes on. Get your shoes on? Yeah? You want to go? You excited? You want to go roller skating?
It actually wasn't even that. Just scared. Go with the kids. Go.
We were all exhausted after the skate, so we came home. I started a fire. My 17-year-old son made a latte for me and him, which was really nice. And then the rest of us sat down in the living room and did some quiet reading, and then I read aloud to everyone. When I think about decorating for Christmas, I tend to get overwhelmed at first until I remind myself that I can just do a little bit every day. So we started with getting a tree, and that was up for a day. Then the next day, we just did lights. That was all. And then the next day, we put decorations and finished the tree. And then slowly each day, we added some new things, a wreath to the door. We got out some of our other Christmas decor, and just each day a little bit more, we're getting something done. And this approach just helps me to keep perspective and not let it overwhelm me too much.
Chapter 30. We moved to Littleton between Christmas and New Year's. Father and Mother found a 7-room house on the south edge of town.
We are finishing the very last chapter of Little Britches, which we've been reading over the past couple months, and it happens to have a mention about Christmas and New Year's, but this is the end of our normal read aloud, and after this day, we started our Christmas reading. We started with The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. That was actually today, and that's a book my kids just love. Now, when I was reading this book, there are a couple books that have really moved me to tears. Not many, and this was one of them. I hadn't read the book for myself, and as I was getting to the end, I could feel myself getting choked up. While I was reading, our 17-year-old son here is working on his Algebra 2. I miss having my older boys in our read-alouds, but I think I just have to accept that things change as our kids grow older, and that's not always easy for us as moms. But back to the story, it was just such a tearjerker at the end, and I had a hard time holding it together. The story is about an 11-year-old boy whose family moves out to a ranch in Colorado, and they try to make a go of it, farming their own property. But after a year or a couple years, it's just not working out, and they have to move in town. And at the very end of the book, his father gets ill, and spoiler alert, his dad dies, and he has to take over. This 11-year-old boy is now the man of the family, and it was so touching. When you read books like this and you make memories with your kids, it's something you don't ever forget. After our read aloud time, we went out into the kitchen to work on these Christmas crafts. These are some free Christmas printables that I created on the blog. This year, instead of making our normal family Christmas cards, I'm going to be making these handmade cards, or I'm going to have the kids make them, and I'm going to put our family picture inside of them. Normally, I make and print our cards from Snapfish, but this is a little bit cheaper of an option and just as nice. All I have to do is make several copies of our family picture and have that printed out instead of the Christmas card, which is a little bit more expensive. You can find these free printables. There are Christmas cards, ornaments, gift tags. There's a free nativity set that kids can color and cut out, and they can use anything they want. My kids turned over a basket as the stable, or a shoebox, anything that kids are so creative. They can come up with something for their own stable, but there are also some Christmas coloring pages that you can get as part of these free templates if you go over to ourlifehomeschooling.com. And I'll leave a link for that as well below.
Nice. No, I'm going to keep them, but I'm not going to look at them. I like the cut on my...
The last thing I did before my little guys got up from their naps was to decorate the wreaths on our front doors. And I usually just cut some greenery. We have some cypress trees around our property, and these are perfect for decorating wreaths. I put some on the windowsills in our kitchen, and just putting in different places around the house at Christmas time. It smells so good and it looks pretty. My kids finished their crafts for the day, and here's just to show you some of what they made. I have a lot on my list that I still need to do for Christmas, My husband and I sit down in the evenings and order gifts together. That always seems like a big job when you have a large family like ours. Our oldest son is almost 20, our youngest is almost 2, so just the wide age span, getting gifts for everyone. We have to get gifts for my parents, for my husband's parents, so it helps us to just sit down and work on it a little bit every night together. We have some baking to do, a little bit more decorating that I wanted to do, and of course wrapping all our gifts. The kids wrap the gifts for us, so that is something that is not on my plate. They love doing it. They all beg to do it. It doesn't look great, but I'm okay with that. With all we have to do, I'm not too stressed because our homeschool life fits around our family life. We put our family first, and that makes things a lot easier. Thanks for following along. I do 1 video a week on homeschooling encouragement for everyday moms. I'll see you next week.